Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Crypto Tips, coming to you with another AMA session, episode 10. But before we get into that, Toby is going to kick it off with some stats.
Yeah, so China bans financial payment institutions from cryptocurrency businesses. Guys, we've heard this before. 2017, China decided to ban Bitcoin altogether. And so they realize, okay, we can get cheaper prices this way. And so they go ahead and do that. And this is what countries will typically do. Here's more news from today. The Indian government is rethinking its ban on Bitcoin. Yeah, so this is what's happening. It's coordinated FUD. We are completely oversold right now. Could it go lower? Absolutely. Do I hope it goes lower? Absolutely. I can't wait for it to go lower. A lot of people don't want it to go lower, but those people probably aren't veterans like us. We understand that these are typical. Like I said on the last video, that there were several 38% dips the last bull run. We had like 3 or 4 of them. So this is one, guys.
This is the second one, actually. The first one was in January.
Yeah,
it was not 38%, it was like a 30% dip.
Yeah, so this is way more, and it's way more scary for everybody because, you have the 21-week moving average, which, at the close of Sunday, we'll see if it closes up or above it. I'm not worried about it at all, not one bit. I'm just going to keep accumulating. And that's just what we're going to do.
Who's got diamond hands?
Yeah, for sure.
Diamond hands.
Anyways, let's get into some questions.
Okay.
Before this bull run continues.
So this, for those of you who are new, these questions were submitted to us by our Patreon members of the CT Club. If you'd like to join, if you'd like to check that out, go ahead and visit the links provided for you down below in the video description. If you like videos like this, we appreciate it if you leave a like and hit subscribe to this channel so you can get more videos that come out all the time. So here's the first question.
Definitely.
If y'all were newbies again, would y'all sell Bitcoin to gain another citizenship or borrow against it? Thanks again. So for me, the fact that, buying a second citizenship for us was a part of our long-term plan, obviously. It was setting us up, it was setting ourselves up for a plan B. It allowed us to ultimately renounce our US citizenship after we had that. And that was all our plan of being able to live a more free life, of being able to freely interact with this cryptocurrency space. I think both of us had quite the foresight to see, how the U.S. is going to be reacting to crypto, not in the most friendly way. Mm-hmm. We're seeing that with, if you're a U.S. citizen, how are you getting a lot of these different altcoins? You're not, because you're, you can't get it with a centralized exchange. There are decentralized exchanges, by the way, just to put that out there.
Yeah, and Heidi does videos on that too.
Yeah. So for us, okay, so if you're talking about opportunity costs of buying a second citizenship versus taking that amount of money and borrowing against it or lending it out to get some kind of a percentage, for us, the long-term benefit of having a second citizenship, taking advantage of it at that time, far benefited us more than any kind of a percentage that we would have gotten from lending or borrowing against it. So I wouldn't change that decision. I would not choose to borrow against it versus, passing up the opportunity to have a plan B.
Yeah, and also we weren't loaded back then. No. So we literally took a big portion of our net worth and bought the citizenship because we knew, first of all, we knew where Bitcoin's headed. Okay, yeah. And so this was during a bear market as well that we did this, by the way. And so that's
fresh
a tough
decision.
Bear market. Exactly, and that was a tough decision. But we knew where regulators were headed. We knew that being a U.S. citizen would be a huge downside to where we want to go in life. Mm-hmm. As far as freedom, financial freedom. I mean, the U.S. is one of the least free Western nations in the world. So
not a lot of people like to hear that though. But
yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and type in Binance, and you're forced to do Binance.us, and then you have to choose between your little tiny amount of coins that you're allowed to buy because your government doesn't trust you. Yeah, so that's why we're like, all right, we're out of here. Get the heck out of here. And since we've done that, there's been plenty of people that have actually followed in our footsteps. And if you guys want to learn how to renounce and get rid of that thing, then there's plenty of videos to do.
It's a heavy decision, and it's definitely something that you should take time to think about. For us, the direction of our life, the way we wanted it to go, we had zero plans of being in the U.S., so that's a whole other thing. But definitely take the time to do your research and really think on it and see. But for us, again, like Toby said, that was a huge chunk of our net worth to invest in a second citizenship, and I think that speaks to how much weight we put on that, the importance of getting one. As well as we knew where Bitcoin was going, so we knew, what that investment could have turned into had we kept it in Bitcoin. But again, that speaks to how much we value our freedom and how much we were willing to pursue it. So yeah.
Definitely.
Second question, just started using a hardware wallet and have some extended travel coming up. Do you recommend traveling with a recovery seed just in case you lose or have your hardware wallet stolen while traveling? Newbie question, I'm sure, but I can't seem to get anyone to give me any advice on this. I'm nervous to travel with a recovery seed as it's basically like traveling with my entire portfolio should it get stolen. On the flip side, I also want it to be with me just in case something happens to the hardware wallet and I need to restore quickly. That is a very, we relate to this, but I understand why it's probably hard for you to get advice from this, especially if it's someone whose identity is tied to whatever advice they're giving. And that in itself is a hint of you should, however you are storing your cryptocurrencies, lock that up and keep it off the internet. You don't want to tell anyone at all how to get to your cryptos. I'm actually going to be doing a video in the coming weeks of are you getting scammed? Basically, there's a lot of people who are getting scammed lately, and it's a shame. And doing things like publishing basically how, if you're traveling with your private key and then people know where you are because you're posting traveling photos, they can find your location based on the information stored within the data of your photos that you post online. That's actually how they caught John McAfee, by the way, which is kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The metadata in the photo was, anyway.
He's not the smartest
which is ironic because he's like a privacy guy.
He's not the smartest guy.
But definitely, I feel like you're going to have to make that decision on your own, taking that risk of traveling with or without the recovery phrase. For me, traveling with it is a much higher risk. One thing you can think of doing is not putting everything you own into one ledger device backed up by one recovery phrase. You can decentralize it, but again, that comes with being able to secure each one equally or as securely as possible. Maybe if you're traveling and you have, like for us, we have a certain amount of coins that we're never going to sell, no matter how much it dips or how cold the crypto winter is or how long the bear market is. We're not going to sell those coins. So for us, traveling wise, it doesn't make sense to travel with anything to do with those coins. Mm-hmm. So if if you have a bunch of altcoins or something and you're going to be traveling, maybe you, depending on the coins, depending on the value that you have, maybe you have them on a centralized exchange and you have a uber secure password, you're using two-factor, you're using a VPN, you are safeguarding that as much as possible, maybe on an exchange like Binance, who does have an insurance fund in case they're hacked on their side. There's something to consider for that. Or maybe just keep them on different exchanges. Maybe keep them on different wallets. You can, if you travel with your computer, you can store them on, like for example, Cardano has Daedalus, Ethereum has Mist. You have these software wallets that are specific for your coins. In my opinion, I don't think it's smart to travel with both the hardware wallet and the recovery phrase. I'll just say that. You're gonna have to get creative with how you decide which wallets we bring with and which coins are on them, basically. Next question, this one is stepping well outside the crypto realm and into the relationship category.
Okay.
So usually with a couple, one does most of the cooking. Which one of you enjoys cooking the most?
Heidi. Heidi definitely loves doing it. She's an amazing cook, like really great cook. But here in the Mentawai Islands, actually, do you want to share where we are kind of?
Yeah, so we tried, I guess we kept it a little secret because, again, going back to traveling and, being public figures with crypto, we try not to expose too much, but traveling what it is and where we are, that's probably not much of a threat. So we're in Indonesia on one of the Mentawai Islands called Kandui. It's a beautiful spot surrounded by amazing surf, and as Toby learned,
it's incredible.
Amazing fishing.
Yeah, fishing, surfing, diving is incredible. So it is actually Kandui Villas.
Kandui Villas, yeah.
Check it out. It's really great. This guy Jordan runs this place, and he's done an incredible job. Yeah. Incredibly awake.
Yes.
Yeah, he's as awake as you get.
That's actually been the best part of being here is despite it's like paradise, it's also like kind of mental paradise. We've been pleasantly surprised and surrounded by people who are of a very similar mindset of being free, pursuing that freedom, and being awake, basically. So it's been kind of nice.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
And we've, as always, wherever we go, we turn it into a little bit of a crypto bubble. So now every breakfast, lunch, dinner, we're talking about what's going on with crypto.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions now.
Yeah, but anyway, I know that actually Indonesia just implemented 14-day quarantine, which before when we first got here it was 5 days, so we lucked out. But, it tends to change a lot here. The travel restrictions and stuff, so hopefully it changes soon. And if it does, if you guys are looking to get some sunshine and surf,
definitely come here. It's pretty
epic.
If
you can.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Get some of those profits and come out to Kandui.
For sure.
We might still be here.
yeah, for sure. Depending on what happens in the world, we can just stay here for life.
Toby's always like, 1 more month. Anyway, yeah, I do really enjoy cooking. Actually, for those of you who have been subscribed to this channel for at least 6 months, we used to do these live cooking shows where I was grilling fish, and what else did I cook?
Lots of other stuff.
I did a couple times anyway. Next question, ADA or Cardano outlook, time to collect profits or hodl?
Oh, geez, I'm gonna hold. I mean, look how strong it's acting.
It's
even
been bouncing
during
around its all-time high, so that's good.
Yeah, so I mean, I see it as pretty having a lot of strength. They're coming out with their smart contracts soon if they actually pull that off. And I mean, the space has so much going for it.
Yeah.
Why the heck is everybody freaking out? Yeah, I get it that 38% explosion, but there's so much going for this space, guys. I don't see anything to worry about. We're pretty chill. We're just kind of laughing on Twitter. Yeah. Just Heidi's become a big troll for the weekend, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here, to help you guys understand that there's nothing to panic about.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a time frame in mind based on how the market is looking and behaving. We'll probably be making some moves. We might start unstaking some coins that have a particular staking period. All that information will be available to the members of the CT Club, the lovely people who are submitting their questions to us today.
Yeah.
So feel free to check that out if you're curious.
Okay.
Link is in the description.
Next one.
Yes, next question. How do you know at what price is a good entry point to buy? For example, Bitcoin, Ethereum versus ADA and Polygon. One is in the thousands and the other in single digits. So what do you look at? I mean,
look at what look at what Bitcoin's done. It's pulled back about 35% or something like that. So that's a pretty good pullback. I mean, I'd be buying. We did buy. We have more buy orders in the 30s range. So from 39, 38, 37, all the way down to 25. And so, that's what we're doing. And I think that's a smart way. If it doesn't hit, fine. And it's not like I'm buying one Bitcoin here, one Bitcoin there. It's just like little amounts, and it adds up in the long run. So,
but also it's like, I think this is also a common question, especially for those who are new to cryptocurrencies and you don't understand why some are valued 10 times, 100 times more than others. So what we look for is obviously the supply of coins. How diluted is that supply? That's going to determine, the kind of price range you should expect it to be in. You look at things like the market cap. That can tell you how much room there is to grow. I think that's something you definitely look for, as well as volume. One thing you're always saying is big money likes liquidity. That means a lot of money involved in trading that coin within a 24-hour period. Look for a decent number there.
And also, I should say that I don't expect it to go to 25,000. I know people are going to be like, "What? You have buy orders at 25,000? Oh my gosh!"
If Bitcoin went to 25,000, wouldn't you love to buy it there?
I'd sell the house. Actually, probably not. Heidi would kill me. But with that said,
Heidi wouldn't sell the house. Let's just say that.
Yeah. But I mean, geez, what a deal!
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Also, if you're curious to see, what we look for when we're investigating a coin before we decide to invest or not to invest. I did a class on this. I know I'm saying a lot about the CT Club, but I did a class on it on how to do your own research. We talked about like the fundamentals and also the numbers, like the technical analysis of coins. I did a little teaser of it here on my videos. If you do something like the title is something like How I Research Coins. That's just really a small edit of that full class. So you can get the full thing on Crypto Tips. Patreon.com/CryptoTips is where you can find that. So next question. Hello, Heidi and Toby. Could you please put my mind at peace about alt season? Is it still on or over? I listen to others in the industry and some really believe we are at the tail end of alt season and Bitcoin is coiled up to spring up and this will not go well for the rest of the cryptos. Having lived through the crash of 2017 and not selling and seeing a 90% drawdown and only to have it come back and most of these altcoins are worth nothing. I don't want to miss selling this time, but I also don't want to leave the most gains to come if it's still coming. So first, I understand for those of you who put so much hope and pressure really on your investments of altcoins, fact of life is most altcoins aren't going to survive long term. A lot of them do really well during a bull run because they seem cheaper, because they seem like there's more room to grow, so they get a lot of investment. They're also smaller, so their prices are far more volatile, which means it can be volatile on the way up. So yeah, I understand where there's more pressure to time the market for your altcoins than necessarily for Bitcoin because they might not have the same longevity. Not all altcoins. There's a few that we are happy to hold long term, but I don't think alt season is over. I think Bitcoin's going to do what it does, and then altcoins are going to have a little echo effect.
But also, nobody knows. Like, guys, look at ADA and look at Solana and MATIC. We called these things way before, like, I'd say most people. And, they've done incredibly well. There's a reason why they've done so well, because they add value to the network. And, when you see coins that are adding value to the network, that are not dropping like a rock, like Bitcoin is, that there's something behind it. There's a reason why big money is buying this, And so with that said, I think alt season is still here, obviously. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for some of my alts, and especially for our Patreons, if it wasn't for like Solana, MATIC, and ADA, our portfolio would be down way more than it has been right now. And yesterday is going to all-time highs while Bitcoin's going past its 21 weekly moving average. So I mean, it just shows that altcoin's pretty alive, or alt season is pretty alive right now. And who knows when it's going to end? We don't know. Nobody knows. I don't care what the most popular YouTuber is out there. They don't know when alt season is going to end or when Bitcoin is going to go back up or how low the bottom is going to be. Nobody knows anything. Yeah. It's just guessing. They're pulling this out of their butt. literally. And they're making, these videos all the time and getting tons of views like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's just somebody else's opinion. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's somebody else's opinion. But if you can go back through history, you can kind of see what could potentially happen and what's more likely to happen. And so, for instance, here's one that nobody's really talking about, is that the exchange inflows are happening right now. Okay, they're just starting now. But if you look at
that means people are taking their coins out of their maybe hardware wallets or cold storage and sending them onto an exchange in preparation for
potentially selling or whatever.
Yeah,
so, but if you look back in 2017, that began in August. We didn't have a blow off top till December. So I still think we have time. We definitely have time, and not worried one bit. But we do have our profit-taking strategies in place right now, and we will be taking profits, potentially in the next couple months.
Yeah.
And but we will tell everybody when we're doing that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and I posted a video, not even a month ago, talking about how to prepare for the end of the bull run, and I got so much hate on that. People saying it's not over, it's nowhere near over. The whole point is to be proactive.
Exactly.
And to have a plan put in place. I am gonna keep saying that one over and over again, because there's so many people who invest and have no idea what they should do, when they should make a move. A lot of it is like, even this question, it seems like there's a lot of fear in that question, where number one, he doesn't want to miss the opportunity to sell when it's actually over, and he also doesn't want to miss out on the potential gains if he sells early. So if you had an investment plan, you would know how to approach this time. This happens at every cycle, every shift of the cycle. You need to know what you're going to do. So an easy one is to maybe take out your initial investment. You're not losing money, and then you can see your profits and see what they do if you want to, see if it goes up or not. So that can kind of cover your butt. Or you can dollar cost average out of a position, and you're seeing profits, but also you're leaving some coins to see if it appreciates more over time. So you don't have to be 100% hot or cold, black and white, all in or all out. You can definitely play with it and hedge your investments that way.
Yep.
Okay, next question. Hi, what do you guys think about the opinion of Michael Burry, that guy who predicted the 2007 crisis on Bitcoin? He said on Twitter that he does not hate Bitcoin. However, the long-term future is tenuous for decentralized crypto in a world of legally violent, heartless, centralized governments with lifeblood interests in monopolies on currencies. I try to listen to honest skeptics on crypto just so I don't get trapped in confirmation bias on how enduring cryptocurrency is, especially because I know the powers that be want a global government and global digital currency.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a split between two different thought processes. So there's going to be one that trusts their government and that is going to put their hope with their currency, their money, their wealth, their health, and everything for governments, for them to take care of them. And then there's going to be people like us who don't trust governments at all whatsoever. Like anything they say, I want to do the opposite. I don't care what it is that they're saying. That there's going to be plenty of people that are in that boat as well. So, that's going to be the people that use Bitcoin and want to transact peer-to-peer and like open source and global and permissionless and all those good words that everybody likes to say about Bitcoin. And that's true, because, even though people ramble on those words have a lot of meaning behind them. I mean, global, okay, so I don't have to use...
Each of those words is like a punch in the face to any kind of centralized government.
For sure. Like global, come on.
Borderless?
Borderless? Give me a break. You can send that to anybody in the world at any time, 24/7. Michael Burry is a traditionalist when it comes to finance, and he's killed it. He knows how to rig the game. Just look at what's it,
The Big Short.
Yeah, so The Big Short, that's a perfect example of like how he can understand what is going on in the market. I mean, look at that. I mean, he was going crazy because of rating agencies, spreading lies back in the 2007, 2008, financial crisis. I mean, he distrusts government 100%, and there's a reason for that.
There's an oxymoron in here that I think it points out that he doesn't understand the weight of what decentralization means. He said the long-term future is tenuous for decentralized crypto in a world of legally violent, heartless, centralized governments. That is why they were created, was to exist despite a centralized government. It was Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, not necessarily all of them, but if it is a truly decentralized crypto, or as decentralized as it can be, or if it's becoming more decentralized as it develops, which is pretty much the state of any good quality cryptocurrency that I'm looking at, they will be robust against any kind of a centralized government. Bitcoin has reached a level where I believe if they could shut it down, they would. They can't. The best they can do is throw FUD at it. The best they can do is warn new investors, people who don't know anything about it, that it's risky, that it's involved with drug dealing. So is Cash, by the way, the very thing that they've created.
I remember like the Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, right, of the U.S. said
completely denied it.
Yeah, he's like a reporter said, "Hey, what about the U.S. dollar being used for terrorist activities?" And he's like,
or even for drug dealing.
Or that, yeah. And he's like, that I don't think that doesn't happen. So this is how far out of like the realm of reality they are, because they're so power money hungry that they just don't give a crap about you. And that is why we are here to save your butts from psychopaths like this. Like they're completely psychotic.
Yeah. But going on back to what you were saying too is like there's going to be two different worlds. We've said this many times. There's going to be this decentralized free way of interacting with money that doesn't compromise your identity, that doesn't collect your data, that isn't trying to profit off of your activities to sell it to these advertising agencies or whatever, trying to control how your life is, behavior modifications and things. And there's going to be the centralized version of it, which are going to be these CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, that China's launching. They're going to put an expiration date on their coin so that whenever the economy is slowing down, they're going to force you to spend your money no matter how much you need to save it for retirement or whatever is happening in your life that you need, a little money tucked away.
And if you think that's just limited to China, you've got another thing coming.
All these governments are like, oh my gosh, that's genius.
Yeah, I know.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, they're just salivating at the thought of like turning off a currency.
Yeah. And also this concept of if something is deemed, there's a huge difference between legality and morality, first of all. Secondly, I'm sorry, we live in a world where even though something is illegal, doesn't stop it from existing. So basically, for me, there's a huge hypocrisy or complete misunderstanding of what it means to be decentralized. Bitcoin was launched in a way very strategically to be able to exist in a world where there are hostile governments that will be threatened by it. It is a disruptive technology, and how people interact with it, it'll be their choice whether they go the centralized, identified, tracked version of cryptocurrency with things like central bank digital currencies, or the decentralized, the free, the privacy, respecting side of cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Pseudo-anonymous or fully anonymous. Yeah. There's definitely ways that you can interact with crypto that will best suit however the heck you want to interact with it. It's a free system. You can do with it what you want. And I think that's beautiful. But the fact of, long-term existence because the centralized governments exist, no. No, I think the fact that centralized governments exist is going to just fortify the importance of Bitcoin, and people will choose that option. Okay, last question. That was a heavy subject, but it's something that I think we're both passionate about. Last question. Where do you see the Solana ecosystem in 6 months? That's a good question.
Geez, 6 months. That's a long time.
It's a volatile crypto market to go through in 6 months.
I mean, I really enjoy the Solana ecosystem. Yeah, I expect it to keep growing, obviously. It's going to grow. It's not going to disappear. They've got a lot of very smart devs, and they have a lot of capital as well. So with that said, I don't know where it's going to be, but I think that it's definitely going to be, their roadmap is, very ambitious, and it's going to continue on meeting goals. So, yeah.
I think price-wise, if it's a bear market, it's going to go on sale, just like most other altcoins. I hope
it goes on sale.
That it's going to go on sale, but I hope that this turns out to be one of those projects that continues to build throughout the bear market. I think that they, like Toby said, have a very capable dev team and people with a solid background in tech and in this concept of transmitting data, which is, I think, why it's so popular. Also, they have a ton of partnerships already. They have a DEX, they have Radium, they have Serum, they have a bunch of things going for it. Much more than just riding the hype of a bull run like some other coins I can think of. Dogecoin, Shiba, Akita, SafeMoon, for example.
Yeah, those crap.
Anyway, so for me, I am becoming more bullish long term for Solana, but again, it's still brand new. We'll see how they handle when everyone thinks crypto is dead again. But
I can't wait for that,
because in 6 months is a long time in crypto world, and if this
2 weeks is a long time.
If this is a typical bull run bear market cycle, 6 months could be seeing us in much different prices than we're seeing now. We'll see. But anyway. If you want to know what we're doing with our crypto, join the CT Club. That's the biggest hint I can give you.
And stay disobedient and don't follow the sheep. We are out of here.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.